back, guys. The Soundwave curse. Soundwave's predictions will never go right. Does that seem...
It was my curse yesterday, and I could have passed the torch.
All right. It seems that nothing I predict is really going my way. So, Noli had no damage going. How come we didn't see any spikes?
I was really surprised that those Belgorns weren't able to get neutral in basically anything throughout most of the fight. I definitely expected those Belgorns maybe try to lock down those Vargers, cap them out so they can't run their ECM. That way those jams can go off on the Rooks. Because those Rooks were there till basically the very end, where then the match was basically over once they went down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe if Noli went with like a Agony type setup where they went 4 Rooks, Kitsune is just nothing DCM. But like Agony did Fatal Ascension yesterday, it might have turned out better. But I really think the half and half didn't play out for him. And maybe if one of those Belgorns was a flagship, because Noli did not opt, not Noli, but actually didn't. Yeah, Noli did not opt for a flagship, so they weren't able to fit those officer mods, get those long range webs, long range newts. So
yeah, I think that Hun really has decided like we have the best setup. We're just gonna bring it and stomp on people. I think that. Like, Nelly went halfway with the ECM team, and you can't do that. They didn't jam the Scimitar, 1. I didn't hear them talk about the Tengu. I may have missed that, but I suspect it was a boost Tengu, so the resist for the Vargers are going to be high, and as a result, the boost amount from their ancillary shield boost is going to be insanely high. The rep amount from the Scimitar is going to be insanely high. So I suspect that we just saw there's so much rep and so much tank on so many of those ships that it's just going to be insane. And then the other problem was that using Balgorns on those Vargers isn't going to do anything because the Vargar doesn't really use cap except for its hardeners. And if it cycles right, it can usually get its hardeners running. And then the other problem is, like, if you bring ECM, you've got to either bring a very small amount of ECM and just a couple frigates just to get that little edge, or you've got to bring a ton of ECM and lock up everything while your DPS ships do the work.
You can't go halfway, basically.
You can't go halfway and leave stuff unjammed and then slowly lose your ECM, lose your Griffins, and lose your Rooks.
yeah, I mean, like you said, the ASBs on the setup were really strong. Even if they brought a full ECM team, they would jam out most of the ships, but those ASBs would have been able to tank the damage that they were putting out just because of how much those ASBs are able to tank on those Vargars. It's Tech 2 ships, gets Tech 2 bonuses, and also, I believe, like he said, Michael Bolton said, they had the boosting Tengu. Which the siege links gives just like the armor links give a rep amount, I believe capacitor or cycle time, capacitor, and then hardener strength like resist bonus. So I mean, it's especially on a Tengu, they get I think like 33% boost to all that.
And for those who don't know, the boosts from a Tengu are actually stronger than that of a command ship by I believe 2% per level. So it's a big difference.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like at level 5, it's something like a 30%.
Yeah, I think it's actually a little bit of like 33% from the Tengu. So.
Were you going to say something there, CCB Soundwave?
I just made something up, and you guys just kind of rolled with it. Okay. But anyway, apart from my made-up numbers, so is Hun Reloaded one of the best teams we have in the tournament?
They certainly have a setup that they really think is good.
They're pretty much crushing people.
Yeah, they're very consistent. I think we won't be able to really tell until they get to one of the more experienced brackets, say the Road Capel Pandemic Legion bracket, or maybe even the Goonsform bracket. So,
I suspect that they'll keep running that Vargar setup until they run up against a really good team.
Yeah.
And that really good team's going to be like, all right, guys, we've got the plan to beat the Vargars, and then they won't bring the Vargars and just dominate again.
And so there's this group has basically had 2 matches now, and I think we'll just take a look at the results quickly of this group. So 2 wins puts you in a fairly good position to go into the final day. So Hun Reloaded are virtually certain to go into the final day, and basically now Black Legion or Noli Secunda have to pick up a second win.
Yep, I think Hunter really, like I said, is almost certain to go through. I don't think there's anyone in this bracket that can really stop their setups.
Yeah, no. And Choke Point are eliminated, and so it will be interesting to see who they have next week. So Noli Secunda, I think, have Hun Reloaded next week.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem fairly?
It's I think it's 1 and 4 and 2 and 3.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that puts. Ooh, I thought Noli Secunda would be the best of the remaining teams, but they're also fighting Hun Reloaded. who may or may not decide to just bring the same setup because they might not really care anymore.
Yeah, I believe Noli does have a win under their belt, so it could be Noli Secunda, but cause I think the way tiebreaker works, if Noli and Black Legion tie, then since Noli, I believe, beat Black Legion yesterday, they will go through.
All right. Well, that might be an interesting one. So that group is looking fairly steady, at least for Hun Reloaded, first team that's really sure to be through. The next group is Agony Empire, Dark Taboo, Godfathers, and Fatal Ascension. I think Godfathers and Agony Empire are going to go through from that group.
I think you're super wrong.
Well, I mean, I might just have cursed them.
Yes, exactly. They're doomed.
I may have simply ruined their chances of doing anything. Also, a quick thing from CCP Striggs, who, as most of you guys know, is our head referee. He is harsh but fair. He loves all his pilots, but he will punish them if you do bad things. CCP Striggs says, please remember to be quiet and local when you are being pulled in or when we're getting ready. And if you are not quiet and local, he will explode you and 5 of your ships in your hangar. So, serious business from CCP Striggs. Yeah. All right. Let us quickly take a look at the teams that are coming up now. Let's just see how they have been doing. So, Agony Empire. Agony Empire beating Exiled Ones, losing to Exodus, beating Fatal Ascension yesterday. Dark Taboo having lost 2 out of 3 matches now, which is not terribly good. They lost to Alpha Vol Union, who I don't see as a terribly strong team. They lost to Godfathers, who were definitely a strong team. Yeah. And then, why so serious?
I really don't think they're one of the stronger teams of the tournament. I put my vote on them yesterday. I think maybe they would do better in 12-mans. Yeah. And I think they just get stomped yesterday by Godfathers. So.
And this is Agony Empire, who yesterday, of course, had the flagship type and name switched around. So the flagship type yesterday was Pink Unicorn, and the name was Balgorn.
So there is no Pink Unicorn in EVE
There
Online?
is no Pink Unicorn ship in EVE Online.
My hopes and dreams are dashed.
Although, with all this Aurum stuff, who knows?
Possibly.
Well, I have a question. Is Dark Taboo's logo a tiger?
I can't really see from here.
It does look like a tiger.
It may or may not be.
I think that seals my pick for this match.
Do you like tigers?
I do love tigers. Tigers are the animal I feel most akin to.
Back at the commentary department, he actually has a stuffed tiger he sleeps with. It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute.
All right. Well,
it's actually a live tiger. I just keep it soothed.
Very sedated all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about player meets. So, we go to them. Michael Bolton, at least we've seen at quite a few of them, FanFest, all that stuff. You went to Newcastle last month. How did that go?
Yes, I went to the Newcastle player meet. It went very well. It was very wet that Thursday,
because
Friday.
of all the ladies there?
Well, it was...
He's blushing a little.
They had, I think it was 2 months' worth of rain in the space of 2 hours or something insane.
Oh, all right.
But actually, a lot of the players managed to get through that.
Yeah.
It was a very good meet.
Yeah.
A lot of good feedback. They responded well to some of the things that CCP Unifex said were up and coming, which I think you might be mentioning later on in the shows. So it was really good. I mean, and we had a lot of dust devs there from the Newcastle office.
Yeah.
And altogether, it was a very nice meet because we had the EVE players, both old and new. They're talking to EVE devs such as myself, CCP Unifex, but also to the dust devs in the Newcastle office who are working on stuff like the map train and AI, I believe. So that was a really good player meet. And I think some of these local or regional type player meets, you have really good attendance and feedback. So
They're awesome. They're awesome. I went to one in London a month before or so. Yeah. And we were a little bit late, and it was at a pub. And we were wondering if we should prepare a presentation or something like that. And we came in at 8 o'clock in the evening, and it had 300 people. And they were smashed out of their minds. They were so drunk that when we got on stage and started talking about spaceships, like we might as well have been talking like accounting in a football stadium. People were just like yelling and throwing things, and it was like, all right, let's just like get really drunk and talk to people and not spend too much time going through all the official stuff.
I find that's the best way to handle almost any situation. Get really drunk and talk to people.
Yeah. Well,
I think we definitely need to see an Atlanta meet with your office right there in Decatur.
it's a little bit strange we haven't had that, really.
Yeah, because I can't make it all the way across the states
Or
most times.
we could come to the capital of the great free country of America, Washington, D.C., and I could host you guys up, and it would be quite entertaining.
That would be nice.
Will your mom make us pizza bites?
Yes, my mom would in fact make us pizza bites.
I'm going to a player meet in Germany I'm going to a player meet in China in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to one in Germany in a month. And then eVegas. If you do not have your tickets for eVegas in October, you should buy them. There's like 8 devs. It's going to be a full weekend. You can ask us anything. Almost. All right, I've just heard that the match is going to be a little bit delayed. I suspect there might be some in-space shuffling that needs to get shuffled before we're ready to go. But CCP Shrieks is on the ball. But this is...
He's actually sitting on an exercise
He's
ball.
actually sitting on a ball. That's how much on the ball he is.
He likes to work on his balance at all times.
His body is his temple. He doesn't screw around.
Would you say that he's the most fit of the CCP devs?
Oh yeah, well he actually, during the lunch breaks, he runs like a CrossFit program that anyone can attend for free. So there's like this gym across the street, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday he runs a CrossFit one. And a lot of us go there, but he's difficult to keep up with, that guy. He's
Well, the local gym is called Mjolnir, it's the Hammer of Thor.
No, that's actually it's Icelandic for CCP Shrieks.
Are you sure?
I'm told that he's the only one allowed to wield Mjolnir. He's the only one with the strength to lift it.
Yes.
Are you sure it's not the ice cream truck driving past the office?
Oh, no. All right, so when we were watching Hun Reloaded versus Nully, 45 seconds in, Nully had lost both their Griffins. How much of their ECM power has gone with that?
Half. I mean, because they had the 2 rooks. So, I mean, losing both those frigates, that's a lot of jams.
Do we know anything about which ships? Was it the frigs? We have some E-War frigs coming up here.
Yeah. You can see here, you're going to see not so many of the Crucifiers and Sentinels, but what you are going to see is lots of Griffins, lots of Kitsunes, and you're going to see them die a lot. They are so powerful if left alive and so easy to kill that they're going to immediately be powered down. Maulus and carries are also going to see great because unlike ECM, the dams from a Maulus or carries are 100% effective all of the time. You also probably won't see a Hyena. You might see Vigils just because of their speed and the effectiveness of their target painters.
All right, predictions for this match.
Agni Empire.
I'm going to go with my Team Tiger, Dark Taboo.
Agony Empire.
I'm going to place the Soundwave Curse on Agony Empire.